In Formula One, race weekends rarely go exactly as predicted. Before the 2026 Chinese Grand Prix, most fans expected the usual frontrunners like Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull to dominate the world. But what happened in Shanghai surprised everyone. Mercedes arrived with a car that suddenly looked incredibly competitive, and by the end of the early sessions, they had completely taken away the weekend. George Russell delivered one of the most impulsive laps of the season, while rookie driver Kimi Antonelli shocked the paddock by placing his Mercedes right behind his teammate. Suddenly, Mercedes were leading the field, and the entire Formula One world was paying attention. Okay, so now let's see about the Shanghai Circuit. The Chinese Grand Prix takes place at Shanghai International Circuit, one of the most unique tracks of Formula One calendar. The circuit is famous for its unusual layout, including long sweeping corners and one of the longest straight in Formula One stretching over 1 kilometer. Because of this design, teams must find the perfect balance between straight line speed and cornering stability. A car that is fast on the straight but unstable in corners will lose time, and a car that is strong in corners but slow on the straight will also struggle. Only the most balanced car performed well here. Later in the day came spin qualifying, a shorter but intense qualifying session that determines the starting grid of the sprint race. This was the moment where Mercedes truly shocked the paddock. George Russell delivered a near-perfect lap around the Shanghai circuit. The time of 1 minute 31.520 seconds was enough to secure pole position for the sprint race. Even more impressive, his teammate Kimi Antonelli qualified in second place. This meant Mercedes achieved a front row lockout. Both cars would start at the front of the grid. For the team, this is a huge moment. It proves that their pace in practice was not just a luck. The Mercedes car was genuinely competitive. Why the Mercedes cars are so fast? So what exactly made the Mercedes cars so strong in China? The answer lies in aerodynamic efficiency and balance. The Shanghai circuit requires cars that can maintain high speed on a long straight while still remaining stable throughout the complex corner. Mercedes appeared to have solved this challenge perfectly. The car showed excellent tactications in the slow corners and impulsive top speed on the straight. Another advantage was the tire management. The Mercedes drivers were able to maintain consistency lap times without overheating their tires, something that other teams struggled with. This combination of speed, balance, and the tire management gave Mercedes a clear advantage during the early part of the weekend. Okay, so now let's see about the rise of Kimi Antonelli. Another important story from the Chinese Grand Prix weekend was the performance of Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli is one of the youngest drivers in the Formula One grid, and the 2026 season marks his rookie year with Mercedes. Despite his limited experience, he delivered a remarkable performance in Shanghai. Qualifying second for the sprint race showed that he could match the pace of his much more experienced teammate. For Mercedes, having two competitive drivers is extremely valuable. It allows the team to use stronger strategies and apply pressure to rival teams. Antonelli's performance also suggests that he could become one of the future stars of Formula One. While Mercedes dominated the headlines, other teams were still searching for answers. Ferrari introduced a new experimental aerodynamic update during the weekend, helping to improve the straight line speed. McLaren and Red Bull also attempted to adjust their setup to match Mercedes' pace. However, during the early sessions of Chinese Grand Prix weekend, none of these teams were able to match the speed of Russell and Antonelli. Mercedes had clearly taken over the lead. The events in Shanghai could have a major impact on the 2026 Formula One Championship. George Russell had already started the season strongly, and his performance in China reinforced his position as a serious title contender. If Mercedes can maintain this level of performance throughout the season, they could become the dominant team once again. At the same time, rival teams will not be under pressure to bring upgrade and improvement in the upcoming races. The 2026 Chinese Grand Prix weekend remembered everyone why Formula One is so unpredictable. A team that was not expected to dominate suddenly arrived with one of the fastest cars on the grid. George Russell delivered an outstanding lap to secure pole position, while rookie Kimi Antonelli proved that he belongs among the best drivers in the world. With Mercedes leading the field and rival teams preparing their response, the 2026 Formula One season is already shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent years. And if the performance in China is anything to go by, Mercedes might once again be ready to fight for the championship. Thank you for watching my video, subscribe and leave